with us now is Angela Clark. She owns a coffee shop, and it's called The Coffee Shop. Great name. In Portsmouth. Angela, great to have you with us.
Thanks. Good to be here, John.
Now, Angela, tell me about your business. Just kind of describe what's happened. You're trying to do curbside. How's things gone?
Well, business across the board is down between 50 and 60%, depending on the day. Some days aren't quite that bad, but that's the general gist of it. Back on March 20th or March 19th, we had 9 employees total. They're all part-time. We had to make the really tough decision to lay them off. We had tried to hang on for a week and not do that, just kind of seeing what was going on. But after that week and it being so slow, we decided, my husband and I, that we needed to go ahead and make that hard decision, so we did. And on March 20th, my 3 teenagers, 2 were seniors and one of them is a sophomore in high school, we went in and we began doing everything that we could to keep the doors open. Since then, thankfully, we were able to get the PPP loan last week or week before last maybe. And this week, thankfully, we were able to bring in some employees that were able to come back. Unfortunately, we had identified 4 of our top employees to offer to come back, and unfortunately, only 2 of them came back out of the 4. We had planned to create 3 teams of employees. They would rotate throughout. One would work a week, the other 2 teams would be off, so that if someone were to get sick, if someone were to get exposed, we could pull a team out to continue, continuity and operations of the business. Well, much to my surprise, only 2 of the 4 came back. One of the 4 had pretty legit excuse. They have a young child. There's one of the spouses is working from home. There's no one to watch the baby, essentially. So I totally understood that. But the other one is really just flat out told me that they could make more if they just stayed on unemployment. I was really disappointed, to tell you the least.
This is one of the things that a lot of people predicted was going to happen. So, Angela Beck, you own a store called The Coffee Shop, and you're trying to get your employees back now. A couple of them don't want to come back because they're making more money on unemployment. This isn't to call out anybody for doing that, right? Because if I can make $700 working and $800 or $900 staying home, why would I work? I mean, that's just human nature. It doesn't mean you're a bad person or you're making a bad decision. You just have to
Right,
do the right thing for yourself and your family. The government and what they've done with unemployment has put people in the position to make this choice. And so it's not their fault. It's not your fault. But a lot of companies begging for people right now can't get them because those that are getting $800 or $900 a week, I mean, if that was over what they were making, some it's on a par. So it's like, if it's on a par, I'll just stay home. I mean, there's some people that are going to make that decision, right?
Yes, apparently. And it's interesting because I'm talking to other business owners right there in the neighborhood where we are, and their fear is the same thing, that when things finally do really open up, that people are going to be happy collecting unemployment and staying home. So it's frustrating. It's very frustrating.
Well, and the thing is with unemployment, with the $600 added from the federal government, along with whatever the state gives you, you've got that for 4 months. So let's say you just got eligible. Let's say, I don't know, pick a date, April 15th. You got April to May, May to June, June to July, July to August. So basically, you're eligible to collect this money through August 15th, which is why when Northam says, oh, there's going to be a peak in August, see, that all makes sense now, right? It all makes sense. August has always been the date where people say, well, about August, we have to get back to work. Well, that's when unemployment runs out, right? Isn't it amazing how it all tied together? So you've got a bailout system that's rewarding people on unemployment to stay home when you got the PPP loan and you want to get them back to work. Remember, the purpose of the PPP, the payroll protection plan, was for businesses to keep people on payroll. Now, this thing has been abused like you can't imagine, Angela. I don't even want to get into it right now. The number of big companies that have raped this thing with big banks is shameful and disgusting. But it's part of the environment we live in now. Big banks, gangster banksters, big companies, lobbyists, they have the money to do that. But Angela, when you got the PPP, the object is keep people on the payroll. Now you can't get them on the payroll. They don't want to come back.
Yes.
And
That's right.
go ahead.
And going forward, honestly, my kids are juggling high school online while they're helping me keep the business going. I mean, literally, they're doing classes in my coffee shop, and it's frustrating because they're going to be ending school the end of May. Two of mine are going to be graduating. They're graduating seniors. I don't want them. I don't want to have to pull them in and keep them in every single day of the summer, every other week, or whatever it turns out to be, because I can't get people to come in and work. And it's not. It's the kind of job where, you have to have some training to be able to do it. Nobody off
Right.
the street can just walk in and go, okay, I'm going to learn how to make a espresso or whatever.
Right.
So it's frustrating because I don't know when it's going to end for them either. And as a parent, you don't want to do that either. But
Well,
I'm
yeah. I
very
mean, you
grateful
want
that
your
they are the age that
you
they
want
are
your
that they can
two
help.
you want your two seniors to be able to enjoy a little bit of their summer before they go off to college. I mean, I get that. I absolutely get that. In fact, that's one of the best times of kids' lives, as I remember, was that period of senior graduation to when I started baseball practice in August or something. I mean, it was 2 months. It was a lot of fun. So you don't want to deprive them of that. But the other thing is, if you got the PPP loan, 75% of that you have to spend on payroll. So if you have no payroll, you got to pay it back.
Yeah.
So I mean, so it's like we're getting both ends of it, right? The purpose of the PPP is to keep people paid. So, but if you don't have anybody on payroll, you got to pay it back. Meantime, they're getting unemployment. So you got the money and you want them to come back, but they're going to unemployment, so they stay at home. I mean, it's a double. It doesn't make any sense, right?
It doesn't, and it's a vicious cycle that we've put ourselves in. It seems.
We're with Angela Clark. She owns a coffee shop in Portsmouth called, great name, The Coffee Shop. And she's been trying to survive. Now, when people go to the coffee shop in Portsmouth, Angela, do you do curbside? I mean, how do you serve them and stay within the guidelines?
We do. We do take out. People can obviously call ahead, and we can prepare things. They're welcome to come in as long as they, don't hang around, and we keep less than 10 people in the building. We're also offering Uber Eats, which they're delivering for free, which is great. But then we're doing a lot of curbside, and we've seen that really pick up over the last probably 2 weeks. And that's really convenient. And, one of the silver linings in this is that's something that will probably continue. That's something that I had thought about before, but being forced into doing it now, it's probably something that we'll continue to do. People seem to like it, and it's working well.
Thank you for sharing that story. I really appreciate it. And good luck with your business. Hope you can find some employees. But look, it's basic economics. You give people more money to stay home than come back to work. Why would they go back to work? Right? They're not going
Yeah.
to do that. Some will because, for the bigger picture, eventually the unemployment runs out. I got one email from somebody who said that they were in a similar situation and they were texting an individual, and the individual said, "Well, when my unemployment comes out, can I come back?" I mean, it's like, I guess so. I mean, I don't know. Call me then in August. Unbelievable, what is going on? Angela Clark owns the coffee shop in Portsmouth. Angela, what's your website?
It's thecoffeeshopva.com.
Great things to eat there. Thecoffeeshopva.com.